Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Police are investigating a series of brazen graffiti attacks targeting Tasmania's public buses. It's believed the culprits are responsible for 2 incidents in the state's south, leaving tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage. Our reporter Ruby Kamain has more.
At around 4 a.m. on Tuesday, this chain link fence behind me here at the Metro Moona depot was cut. Police say a person or persons then splashed graffiti over 3 buses, displaying vibrant tags across the bodies of the vehicles. And yesterday, 2 other buses were vandalised at the Metro Lauderdale depot outside of Hobart. The fence to this property was also cut. Police say it's likely the same vandals were responsible for both incidents, causing a combined total of around $30,000 worth of damage. A thoughtless act, according to the Transport Union.
They think it's a big canvas for them to be able to put their art, and as I said, they're not artists, they are vandals. They are ruining somebody's property, and they shouldn't be allowed to get away with it.
Police say the buses were cleaned up quickly, but the Bus Division Secretary says it could still have impacted commuters.
We've got services that are running late now because we haven't got appropriate times for it. This will only make it worse for the passengers. And
is now calling on harsher penalties.
Instead of just a slap on the wrist and saying don't be naughty, hit them with a fine. Hit them with jail time if they continue to do it, but they need to be a deterrent.
In a statement, Transport Minister Michael Ferguson says this is an appalling act of mindless vandalism that will not be accepted by the government, police or the community. Police are now calling for anyone with information or who may recognise the tags to come forward. Information can also be provided anonymously through Crime Stoppers.
Firefighters are battling an uncontrolled bushfire in the state's northeast with a current watch and act in place. The fire on Golden Gate Road in Massena was first reported late last night before flaring up this afternoon. So far, the blaze has burnt through more than 150 hectares of bushland. 2 water-bombing aircraft have assisted throughout the day. The Tasmania Fire Service is urging residents in the area to have their bushfire plans ready and be prepared to leave if conditions worsen. A vibrant parade of celebration, music and cheer filled the streets of Hobart today for the 39th annual Christmas pageant. The lead up to the festive season also marked by an early visit from Santa himself.
A colourful sea of Christmas joy flooding through Hobart's CBD. The streets lined with eager viewers, with many here to catch a glimpse of a certain man in red.
Santa, Father Christmas. I really want to see Santa Claus. Santa! Yay!
This year's Christmas Spectacular, featuring over 60 vibrant floats made up of more than 2,000 participants, great and small, from some special presents to little bumblebees, while others march to the beat of their own drums. Bringing the public and families together for the festivities.
Well, look, I think this is one of the events where the people of Hobart come out and participate. They want to see this. It's a regular event. It's been going on for decades and it's really valuable to the people of Hobart.
Why have you come out to the pageant today?
To bring my little girl and just getting ready for Christmas, really. Being with the spirit of Christmas.
The annual parade, showcasing unique displays from Tasmanian communities of various cultures, while also serving as a fruitful reminder to some that Christmas is just around the corner.
It's good to have a Christmas pageant because then if we didn't have one, most people that don't have a calendar wouldn't know when Christmas is.
And now the countdown to the big day begins. Ruby Kamain, 7 Tasmania News.
The 2019 Point to Pinnacle will be held tomorrow morning, with organisers recording almost 4,500 participants for this year's event. Traffic between the Rest Point Casino and Mount Wellington is expected to be impacted until midday, with main roads including Sandy Bay Road, Huon Road, Pillinger Drive and Linton Avenue receiving the most impact. For full details on road closure times, visit the Point to Pinnacle website. More than 10,000 people have turned out to the Huon Valley today for the annual show. This year's event was extra special, bringing the community together after the devastating January bushfires.
Despite bad weather forecasts, the sun was shining at the Ranelagh Recreation Ground today. Thousands attending this year's Huon Show.
We sort of pride ourselves of always getting about anywhere between 10 to 15,000 people, depending on what's happening, and I reckon we've got a really good crowd today.
It had all the usual offerings like arts and crafts, cute baby animals, a good old sausage in bread and a ride on the Dodgems. There was no beating this girl's view of the day's entertainment.
What's some of the feedback you've gotten today? What's the weather like up there? You're quite short, aren't you? Yeah, nice view. I really look up to you.
This year's event had an even stronger local focus, coming off the back of the summer bushfire season that devastated the Huon community.
Particularly in an area like this with what we've been through in January with the bushfires, I think we need more people out here today actually to enjoy all the local businesses that are here.
People making the journey from across the state for the event to spend their money and give their support to those who are still doing it tough.
I think it's huge, you get the whole community together, people coming from all over the state to check it out. It's great.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too. I mean, I'm from Lauderdale and I'm down here now, so yeah, no, it's great.
Very good that everybody's helping each other.
Now in its 73rd year, organisers are confident the rural show will continue to thrive.
Oh, look, we'll be back for another 70 years, I hope.
Ebony Ablett, 7 Tasmanian News.
I've never seen anything like Tasmania's wild Central Highlands before, but a team of anglers from Kiribati is hoping to become the fairy tale story of the upcoming World Fly Fishing Championships. The small Pacific nation is a wildcard entry for the event and needed a crash course in trout fishing techniques.
Who doesn't love a true underdog story, like Eric the Eel at the Sydney Olympics or the Jamaican bobsleigh team? So could these anglers from the tiny island nation of Kiribati be the next to capture our hearts?
Apart from one of them, they have never seen mountains, never seen rivers, never seen cows and horses. There were a few anxious moments on the plane when it landed the other day, I might add.
Make no mistake, these guys are fair dinkum fishermen, but their income back home comes from bonefish, not trout, which they'll be fishing for at the upcoming World Championships.
They are fishing guides. They're very good at their job. All we have to do is teach them the techniques and they'll be fine.
$40,000 was raised to bring the wildcard entrants to Tasmania. They're among the first of 23 national squads flying in to compete in the Central Highlands.
There'll be no extra fish put in. It's a wild fishery and we want to keep it a wild fishery. And with the weather the way it is, the fish are having a nice time. They're resting, waiting for the competitors to arrive.
The Kiribati crew has arrived early to fit in as much practice as possible.
They might give a few teams a shock, I think.
Lines will be cast from November 30. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmanian News.
McDonald's restaurants across Tasmania decked out in colour and festivities today, joining a nationwide charity fundraiser. Costumes, face paint and even some farming friends making up this year's McHappy Day at Rosny Park to raise valuable funds for sick children at Ronald McDonald House.
What they need is the supplies, the beds. We're over capacity, so the funds that we can do to keep giving these sick children the best possible for their families to feel well accommodated, and in their time of need, there's no stress from them.
The Eastern Shore premise is aiming to raise $5,000. The inaugural Tasmanian Run for Palestine event has taken place along Hobart's waterfront this morning. More than 50 people took part in the charity walk and run, which aims to raise funds and awareness for Australian humanitarian organisations working on the ground in the troubled country.
To raise the awareness and to advocate for Palestinian people and for Tasmanians to have the opportunity to understand the issues.
We didn't realise how much support we have here, how much kind people who just gather and giving hand and supporting and understanding in fact what Palestinians are going through.
Similar events will be occurring across the country tomorrow. An historic property has opened its doors to the public for the first time as part of the Longford Blooms Garden Festival. Its new owners have spent months crafting a beautiful floral backdrop to the 19th century home.
With its colonial architecture and stately elegance, Kilgore is one of Longford's finest historic homes. But only now are Tasmanians able to see its beauty for themselves. Its new owners have worked tirelessly to bring its beautiful garden to life.
The whole thing was weird. Hopefully this garden will be in full bloom in December. It's just not peaking yet, but it's just about there.
It features 30 different plants, and despite the back-breaking work, the overhaul still has a long way to go.
We look at a 10-year plan on this one, so this is our first year with it, so yeah, it's going to be good.
It's one of 10 gardens on display for the Longford Blooms Garden Festival, which began when Paula Gordon-Smith opened up her lush property to the public after undergoing a major makeover.
We started 7 years ago with a few gardens to help someone who'd been injured in a horse accident on the town, and that was successful, and we've gone from strength to strength since then.
The festival now raises money for Helping Hand, an organisation which aids locals facing hardship.
It's about people enjoying gardens, being able to see other people's gardens, also the opportunity to buy rare plants. The nurseries stock very similar things, but there are lots of people out there who grow lovely old-fashioned varieties.
The festival continues tomorrow. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmanian News.
Well, join us tomorrow night for a special report on the tough conversation to have, but one that could save lives. 20-year-old Blake McHappy died after a motorcycle crash in Glenorchy last year, but his family's next decision was a tough one. Should they donate his organs? That story tomorrow night on 7 Tasmania.
And there's one clear message from our para-athletes after the World Championships. Bring on Tokyo. The title's finished with bronze to reigning world champion Tasmanian Dion Kenzie in a red-hot T38 1500 metres final.
A little bit of disappointment there, but also lots of gratitude as well to be able to come home with the medal for Australia.
The 23-year-old from fourth will take his infectious enthusiasm to next year's Paralympic Games.
Silver medalist to Rio, so I'd like to add a gold to that collection.
17-year-old long jumper Ari Giacchini was fourth in his first Worlds. Australia finished 7th overall with 8 golds, 23 medals and many great prospects for 2020.
Good evening. 17 degrees today in Hobart. Launceston had a top of 18 with 17 in Burnie and Devonport. Around the state, 20 degrees was the state's top at St Helens and Friendly Beaches, 18 for Fingal, 17 degrees at Cressy, Scottsdale, Wynyard and Edison Point, 16 on Flinders Island with 15 degrees for Low Head, Smithton and Campania, with 14 degrees for Strawn and Ouse. On the charts, low level speckled cloud visible over much of Tasmania today. Further out, areas of low cloud over the south coast of the continent. Convective cloud can be seen along the trough over Queensland with active thunderstorms, otherwise cloud-free. Tomorrow shows a high pressure system moving across South Australia as a front moves south of WA. Low pressure troughs linger around the far west, the north and the east. West to southwesterly winds 15 to 25 knots, 30 about the south, easing later with seas up to 2 metres. And there's a strong wind warning current for eastern, southern and western coastal waters from Wineglass Bay to Sandy Cape, and a strong wind warning also for northeastern coastal waters. Onto the forecast, 17 for Hobart, possible showers there, 17 at Richmond, Ouse 15 degrees. Cloudy in the north, 19 in Launceston, 17 for Devonport, 16 at Deloraine, 17 in Burnie, cloudy conditions there, 14 and showers for Strawn with 14 at Curry, and 17 degrees and cloudy in St Helens, 18 for Swansea with a sunny day, 15 degrees at Whitemark. And the UV is very high right around the state with tops of 9. Showers about the west and the south on Monday, pretty cloudy conditions elsewhere. Similar again on Tuesday with that cloud clearing, with showers developing in the west, the south and the northwest on Wednesday. Taking a look now at your major cities, 29 degrees tomorrow in Perth, 21 the top for Adelaide. Melbourne 17, 24 in Canberra, 32 degrees in Brisbane and Cairns with 35 and a sunny day for Darwin. And there's still a few clouds lingering tonight, Rach, 12 degrees in Hobart, 15 in Launceston and 13 in Devonport. That's all for Saturday night.
So that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening. Good night.
Great place to play on. Each of our young people to be the best that they can